This is Golf with Jay Delsing. A two-time All-American at UCLA. Competed in nearly 700 PGA Tour events, 7 professional wins to his credit. Over 30 years of professional golf experience. A member of the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame and the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Welcome into Golf with Jay Delsing, and with Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great show coming up. Big guest, Derek Sprague. He is the CEO of the PGA of America. We're also going to visit with Emma Corbett from Elv8 Golf. And if you have a youngster out there and you want to know about how to get them involved in the game of golf, especially the little girls, which is so cool, Emma's going to give us some advice on how to do that. Jay, before we get to all that, great to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, Danny. And how many little girls do we have or have we had at one point in time between the two of us?
That would be 6.
That would be too many. No, wait a minute. I can't say that. Wait a second. No, Emma is absolutely fantastic. What they're doing at Elv8 Golf is remarkable and really making a difference, and it'll be fun to get to visit with her. And now we've got the new CEO. Man, I got to tell you, Derek Sprague has got big shoes to fill, Danny, and it's going to be fun talking to him. We're both big Seth Waugh guys, but this guy was also a president of the PGA of America, so I think he's got to take this thing and run with it.
I love Emma coming in studio. We've had her in studio before. Let's start with that, and then we're going to get more into Derek Sprague. But You always talk about Elv8 Golf kind of being a disruptor in the game of golf, but meaning that in a good way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, before, Danny, the way people took lessons was call your pro, and he or she would book you an hour, and that's kind of what it looked like, and it would be sporadic. And this is a membership-oriented program where you're buying time in there, and you're able to go 3 days a week, 5 days a week, depending on what your lifestyle's like, what your schedule's like. And it's also, Danny, this is more training. Okay, so what do we mean by that? So training is more, this is an entire package where they're looking at the way your body moves. Like they'll give you they'll take you through this assessment, and they'll look at your body, the way you're hitting balls, where your shot patterns are, way you're moving, and by the way you're moving or way you're not moving, Danny, they can relate that. Tyler Lowenstein, he's the director of physiology over there. He can give you exercises to help you improve that part of your body movement, so that next time you go on the sim and you hit some balls, you actually have a chance of developing different results. And then when you're trying to hit certain techniques with a better aligned body, with a more physically in tune body, you got a much better chance of having this happen.
And I would say this is the time to do it. Now, it's not to say that they're not open in the summers and they can't help you in the summer months, but people are on the golf course at that point, and with the weather that we've had, go on a simulator, go get the stretching exercises, the weight exercises that they offer, and probably now is the time to do it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it's interesting because Elv8's been around now. They've got a full year under their belt, and what they saw last year was really interesting, because you're absolutely right. We get cabin fever. The weather is so lousy. We can't wait to get outside, and everybody just bolted outside and was playing and doing their thing. And then all of a sudden they saw people started coming in again during the weeks where they're like, no, I'm coming in for a little hours worth of training. I'm going to look at my numbers. I'm going to hit the gym a little bit, and then I'm going to do it before my round on Saturday. Or, instead of going out to the driving range and just whacking, balls sporadically out there, they go to the go to Elv8, get on the sim, look at the TrackMan, and check things out. And Danny, what's really cool is, and I've said this before, but they measure your starting point, so they know where, when you walk in the door the first time and you sign up, they know where you are. They know what your how much your hips are turning compared to your shoulders. Are you hitting down on the ball, your angle of attack, all of these things. Are you in to out in, whatever. They know all these things. But what's super cool is that you go there for a month or two, and then you reevaluate and you look and see, you can actually see progress being made, and that's super powerful.
It's really cool.
It gives a lot of confidence.
So Emma Corbett will be our guest in our second segment after the brief timeout that we have upcoming. She is the player of development at Elv8. Now we're talking about simulators. We love to go through the news and notes of the past week around the world of golf. I loved it on Tuesday night. I'm a big fan of TGL. Of watching these guys play, and I think they're into it. The crowd is into it. Ratings have been good. Tiger had a shot that was supposed to be 199 yards, Jay. He hit it 99 yards. And for him to make a mistake like that and to smile and laugh about it, that was fun to see.
I've never seen that before, Danny.
It was unbelievable.
I was kind of like, did he do that on purpose? Right. That's my first thought. I thought maybe he did it on purpose. But you know what's interesting? Did you happen to see Tommy Fleetwood's shot the other day? I think it was in practice. It was in practice where he made a hole-in-one on a par 4 with his driver, but his tee shot flew into the water, hit a rock, and came up on the green and went into the hole.
Right.
And then, Danny, he ended the competition chipping one in. It was really super cool. What do you think about that flag camera that they have?
I love it.
Isn't it neat?
I think there's certain things that I'm watching right now that I would love to see if they could implement it some way in the regular viewing of a PGA Tour event. I'm not sure what they could do, because if you, like Jim Nantz talked about this in the event last weekend, and he said, we have all these shots. We've got the drones, we've got the blimp, we've got all this technology we're trying to implement. I just wonder if there's something that you have picked up with TGL that you think maybe we could implement this when you're watching just a regular tour event.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that I love, Danny, is a shot clock. I mean, I know that's
100%.
That's my favorite thing. I mean, if what's interesting, and I know we'll talk about Ludwig Aubert's win this past week down at Torrey, which was spectacular. But we also will talk about the speed of play down there, Danny, and it was unbelievable. Now, don't forget, it was an elevated event, so it had a smaller field, only 80 people, and then they made a cut to the low 50 in ties. So it was a small field, but they played in under 4 hours. And all of a sudden, you were seeing more shots. You got to see Maverick McNeely make this charge on Sunday, and then you got to visit with Tiger and have Tiger in the booth for 30 minutes, and then you got to watch Aubert play the last, 4 under his last 6, and just destroy Torrey South, which is not easy to do. So I don't know, man. I think they need to play around a little more with some of the innovation. I think, some of the one of the things that when we were doing the Fox Golf, they had this little runner, Danny. It was almost like a robot, and it had a camera on it. And so the robot would roll down the fairways, with the guys and be I don't know. I'm just open to that because I think the players are realizing, hey, man, this is the entertainment business. We need to be more open to this. We need to let people in and take a look at what's going on, what we're thinking, how we're trying to play this shot.
So pace of play, I'm sure we're going to ask Derek Sprague about that. And again, he is the CEO of the PGA of America, coming up on Golf with Jay Delsing. We were talking about Tiger. He's on the telecast last weekend, and he says, he's asked by Jim Nantz softly, is there a way to, he's so good. I love listening.
Isn't he good?
He's the best.
Man, he's the master.
So he's basically saying, what do you think about where we're at with the game, and can we come together? And paraphrasing here, Tiger essentially said sooner rather than later. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean in a year? Does that mean 6 months?
Right.
A couple years, whatever. But
right.
I took it as a positive.
I do too, Danny. And there's a lot of interesting things that have come at this kind of confluence here. All these things are happening at the same time. We've got LIV in its 4th year. We do know that some of these contracts are 4-year contracts. What does that mean? Are they going to re-sign Phil Mickelson? Are they going to re-sign some of these guys that are coming out? We already know who was the young man, gosh, I'm drawing a blank, that was let go last year because his contract had expired, and he was not very happy about a lot of things that he said were going to happen that didn't happen. So I think it's interesting, and I also have to say this, and regardless, we're not political on the show, regardless of where your political affinities lie, which side of the aisle you're on, this thing, golf will have a better chance with Donald Trump in the office. He loves the game. He owns some golf courses. He has been asked by our commissioner, Jay Monahan, reached out to the president of the United States and asked if he would help us get involved and get this thing settled. So that tells me we're extremely close. I have a feeling, Danny, they're going to tell the PGA Tour players, hey, you didn't take the money. Tough. These guys took the money. They get it, but now they don't get a piece of PGA Tour Enterprises and that bigger entity.
I would say this. If I'm a PGA Tour player, though, I'm thanking Liv a little bit because my purses have gone up. Money that I'm making on the PGA Tour has gone up. I don't like what's happened with Liv. I don't like the disruption in the game, but bottom line is they're putting more money in my pocket, and that's one of the things I got to remember.
The only negative to me, Danny, in all this is that we're making the tour smaller. We took away spots starting next year, starting this year. So I didn't like that, but you're right. I mean, Live in the room has caused a lot more money to flow into the players' pockets. Good, bad, indifferent. It certainly has. Rory had a great comment out where he said, look, I look at what I made last year compared to what I've made in the previous years, and it's a big difference. Yeah. So, but look at these. Danny, are you a fan of elevated events?
I am. I know you're on the fence with it, but I am. It's just, to me, it feels bigger than just a normal tour stop on a Saturday when I'm watching, on a Sunday when I'm watching. Well, I watch all 4 days. I can't lie about that. But I just feel like it's a different feel to the – and the other part I like about it, Jay, is I know that the field will have the biggest names. Yeah. And so that's why I like it.
Yeah, right. And that's always been challenging because you have that independent contractor status, and Rory's got something to do with his child on a
random May weekend,
who knows,
whatever,
a birthday, a recital, who the hell knows? So he's not going to play. And the bottom line is, it would be really awesome to get to see Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, and JT, Ricky, Scotty, all playing against each other way more often.
I'm finding myself watching Liv more this year than I ever have. And I was digging on Channel 11 here locally, the CW, and I'm trying to find it and watch it, and then I would watch it. But now that it's on Fox, and it could be on FS1, FS2, they had it on Big Fox the other day, I'm finding myself watching it, Jay, and I like the team format. I would love to see that on the PGA Tour. I think it's something to just bring in even more fans if you're a casual fan. But I'm watching the big names still, DeChambeau and Koepka and some of these other guys, John Rahm, who, by the way, fell out of the top 50 for the World Golf Rankings. I don't know if you saw that, the official World Golf Rankings, and he's not in the top 50. But I do find myself watching it.
Danny, what is so was it 2 years ago that Rahm won the Augusta?
3 years ago.
3 years ago,
because then Scotty went back-to-back, I believe.
Scotty went back-to-back. That's right. So the last time that's the last event that he's won on the PGA Tour, right? So it's interesting because, I don't know. The new CEO of Liv came out, what's his name, Scott O'Neill, and he said, all you have to do if you want to find the best players in the world is watch a Liv scoreboard. And I thought, what's he talking about? Bryson DeChambeau is unmistakably, he usurps Scotty Scheffler over being more popular. There's no doubt. Now, Scotty Scheffler's a better player. Scotty Scheffler's world number one, hands down, right? Then you're going to get, Danny, I was unimpressed with the Liv guy's performance in general in the majors last year. I don't know what you thought about that, but he can say we've got former major champions. You're absolutely right. But
They're not as sharp. I don't think they're as sharp.
They're not as sharp.
Now, DeChambeau, somebody say, well, DeChambeau won.
Yeah.
I understand that, but that's one of the group of players that are involved in this.
And then what? Koepka won the PGA Championship, 2 years ago at Oak Hill. But Danny, we're talking about them as an entity. I mean, they're not coming into the majors, and you're not seeing Live splashed all over the leaderboard every day. You've seen some tournaments where there were some Masters where DeChambeau had a good tournament. Patrick Reed had another good tournament. Koepka was up there for a while, but there's not like there's some sort of, dominating force of players that Liv has now. I mean, unfortunately, DJ looks like his best golf's been behind him. I don't know. He looks like he might have put on a few pounds, and I didn't think that was even close to being accurate, Danny, when he said that.
All right, we're off and running. It's Golf with Jay Delsing. We're coming to you from the Car Shield Studios. As always, we're presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. Up next, Emma Corbett, the Director of Player Development out at Elv8 Golf in Lake St. Louis. And we'll also visit with Derek Sprague. He is the CEO of the PGA of America, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Barrett Jackman of the Blues. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
You've heard me talking about the APT this year, but I want to help break down what this tour is all about. Firstly, it's the Amateurs Players Tour. I was lucky and privileged to have played golf on the PGA Tour, golf's highest level, so I know what it's like to have a real strong and fair competition. For amateur golf, this is absolutely the closest thing to PGA Tour style golf in terms of fairness of handicaps and the competition. Secondly, APT is the largest amateur tour in the country. In just over 6 years, Matt Minder and his team have over 7,000 members with over 44 local chapters spread across the country. The Amateur Players Tour runs over 800 tournaments a year. 800! That number alone tells you that they are doing something right. They play some premium golf courses around the country like Paynes Valley, Kiowa Island Ocean Course, and Torrey Pine South, and many more. Go to amateurplayerstour.com and find out for yourself. That's amateurplayerstour.com.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. Brought to you by Car Shield and Daugherty Business Solutions. Every Sunday morning from 8 to 10. It features top guests, tips from a PGA Tour player, and the latest news and notes from around the world of golf. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Daugherty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Daugherty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Daugherty Business Solutions.
Hi, this is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center. At FGLC here in Kirkwood, we feature a double-decker driving range, 2 large grass tees with Tahoma Bermuda grass. You want to work on your short game? We have a short game area too, which features a 20,000 square foot green, 3 bunkers, and Zoysia surrounds. Also at Family Golf and Learning Center, don't forget about our 9-hole par 3 course, the indoor TrackMan simulators, and our Performance Center. If you're looking for the best golf instruction, regardless of skill, we can help. Find out more at FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
This is Brian Main, Director of Golf at Whitmore Country Club, and you're listening to the Jay Delsing Golf Show.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and that's Jay Delsing. I'm Dan McLaughlin. We have Emma Corbett from Elv8 Golf, located in Lake St. Louis, Director of Player Development. And Emma, great to see you, and thanks for coming in studio. We appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Emma, so we want to talk a little bit about Elv8 Golf for the listener that's just catching the show for the first time. Tell us a little bit about Elv8 Golf, because I have so many of the components that you guys are using that I think are, I don't want to say revolutionary, but it's kind of disruptive, and it's really making a difference in people's games.
Sure, absolutely. So we've kind of taken lessons. We flip them on their head. We don't even use the word lessons. It's all programming, just like any other sport you're going to play. In the facility, you come in, we do 2 assessments on you, a golf assessment, mobility and fitness, and then we're going to help you with your full game. So we're not just helping you with your golf swing. We're helping you, in the bays with your swing. We help you with your short game. We've got 3,000 square feet in the back with short game, a real bunker, a putting green, chipping green. And then we've got our gym in there that's incorporated with Dr. Tyler doing that mobility and fitness assessment, where you're also working on your body movements and feeling better, so you can swing and can make adjustments.
What are the exercises that you see that a golfer needs to hit on? And I'm assuming there's a bunch. It depends how old you are, guy, gal, it doesn't matter. But what are some of those exercises?
A lot of it's stretching. You got to be more mobile. We all have restrictions. That's like the biggest and utmost thing. But the other pieces to it, like if you want to get faster, you got to make explosive moves in the gym, and you've got to be doing exercises like that as well.
Isn't it interesting, because stretching is one of those things, Emma, that is, people look at me like, oh, it's so boring, but it's so important. And people, if you can get more flexible, you don't necessarily have to, if depending on your age, as Danny said, for an older man or woman, you don't necessarily have to get stronger to have that flexibility make a big difference in your golf game.
No, absolutely. If you can make movements and you can make adjustments, you can hit the golf ball. And that's all ages, right? I'm 26 years old, and I just started doing a ton of stuff for my mobility, and it's made a world-renowned difference for myself. So I think people just understanding it's not a lot of effort. You spend 10, 15 minutes a day stretching, you're making a difference for your game.
So how many kids are you dealing with on an everyday basis? Because a lot of kids are playing the game of golf now.
A lot. That's a tough question. We have a good 250 members. I would tell you that probably 170, maybe even north of that, is all kids.
So mom and dad walk in, and what happens? Because they're pretty limber. The 6-year-old doesn't need to stretch a lot. So
yeah, absolutely.
So what do you tell those moms and dads that walk in with little Susie and little Johnny and they want to learn how to play the game of golf?
A big thing that we incorporate right off the bat is in every program, we've got a 5-tiered program for kids, and even at the lowest level, I make them warm up and do stretches just like we do with the top kids.
So they do have to stretch.
They do, even if they're, like you said, they're limber, and I tell you what, those kids can move, but we still make them understand the importance of it. And
it's a discipline too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Getting used to, like, this is how things are going to work. As you get better, you need to be willing to do these things for yourself and to help yourself in the long run, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, gosh, I love the fact, one of the things that I think is so cool about Elv8 is these assessments. And we're in a day and age where we have our GPSs. We can't do anything without our GPSs, but those things don't work, Emma, if we don't have a clear and concise starting point.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
so with your golf game, we have these initial assessments, and it's always something that we can go back on and say, listen, I know you're kind of getting frustrated, but look at how much you've improved.
Numbers don't lie at the end of the day. Whether you're analytical or not analytical, numbers don't lie. And if you can see when you take an assessment that you've improved even by a couple scores on a handicap system, it still feels way better to know that you're doing something that's affecting your game.
Emma Corbett is our guest from Elv8 Golf in Lake St. Louis, Director of Player Development. I am the father of 2 daughters. Jay has 4 daughters. I love the fact that these young ladies are getting involved in the game of golf. Are you finding that more of the females are starting to get involved in the game of golf?
Growing like crazy, which is wonderful to see. It's kind of felt like since I got in the business, sometimes I felt like I was fighting just to get women to come in and do lessons and get them to show up. But now I think people are understanding and feeling more comfortable, and women are playing, and young women, like you've said, it's so great to see girls in golf. When we have tryouts that kids actually need to get cut, we didn't have cuts when I was in high school. You just made the team. You're on the team, and you can
We're
play
looking
golf.
for bodies. We're looking for a warm body. Yeah.
Now golf's so big that everybody wants to play it. Everybody wants to be a part of it, and it's awesome to see it grow in that area.
So, Emma, let's talk a little bit about some of the things in the past that have kind of prevented the women from joining the game and stuff. There's been intimidation factors. There's been kind of the old boys network. The country club mindset is intimidating. But when at Elv8 Golf, what you're doing there, it breaks down all those barriers. And what a perfect place for somebody to start trying to learn how to play the game.
Well, you just nailed all of it. A lot of it's intimidation. I think as women, we forget, like, in general, we tend to be really hard on ourselves and perfectionist. And I think guys aren't afraid to mess up so they can get better. And I wish more women would think like that.
I keep telling people, I said, like, look at I tell these women that I'm trying to encourage to play, look at where these men are hitting the ball. It's all over, and they're just like, this is fun, So we got to get them to kind of drop that and just play more.
Yeah, it's okay not to be perfect. Nobody is.
Yeah,
gosh. You've played on tour. You know how that is.
There's no perfect out there either, by a long sense. Yeah.
Do you find though, and there is no perfect swing, right?
Sure.
Okay. Do you find though that females, Jay and I talk about this a lot, they seem to have a better swing than the guys. The guys are smashing it, but there's some ladies out there that smash it too, but it just looks like they have a more compact, I guess the best way to put it, but a better swing.
Yeah, 100%. More fluid usually, more sound mechanically, in every way, yes. It's incredible. I think the difference between the two games is men can definitely hit it further, and they're able to tackle distance in that space. Women can keep the ball in play 90% of the time.
Oh my gosh, Emma, Danny and I talk about this all the time on the show, that if you're just a person that loves the game, you can learn so much more by watching the LPGA players, because like you said, their rhythm is fantastic, but most of their techniques, especially the Koreans, are just absolutely flawless. And I mean, you're not going to have a lot of people pick Nelly Korda's swing apart either. I mean, it's absolutely
I was just
stunning.
Say that as well. Yeah.
But the women, I don't you feel like you can? I think you can just relate more to what the girls are doing, just because of the speed thing isn't overwhelmingly knocking you out like it is on the men's tour.
100%. I was just talking actually even to a gentleman the other day about comparing his numbers to LPGA numbers, and he was like, it feels good that these are comparable. I was like, yes, and understanding that you can match tour average numbers, whether it's men or women's numbers, is incredible. And these women are playing so well. If you watch the LPGA, it is so cool to watch right now because the game, as you guys have said, is just growing and booming. And it's incredible. What Nelly did last year is remarkably just as good, if not better, as what Scotty Scheffler did last year. And that's not talked about enough.
How about bringing in kids to Elv8 Golf? And you mentioned a little bit about, stretching and doing those kind of things. But when you get them in, you guys have been innovative in wanting them to stay. And that's the other part. You got to have them love the game. You got to have them want to stay and say to mom or dad, I want to come back. This is something I want to do. So what are some of the innovative things that you're doing for the kids?
Sure. I've got a certification in the ADM model, which is the American Development Model. And a lot of it talks about if you want a kid to be good at something, it is not about making them good from the get-go. It's about making them love it, especially really until they're over 10 years old and parents get lost there. We're putting them into games where they are working on their base skills, but they're having fun and they don't even realize what they're doing. When we do those stretches and warm-ups you talked about, it's all game-oriented. It's hand-eye coordination. It's mobility stuff, but they don't even realize what they're doing. They're running through an obstacle course. They're chasing each other around. They're hitting in bays, catching monsters on a screen, right? So we're telling them to work on their aim and they're worried about catching a monster. So they're,
that's awesome.
Doing two things at once, but it goes a long way. And we've already seen, we've grown pretty incredibly in the kids area in this last year just because kids keep moving up the ladder and they're getting better fast by just having fun, and it's awesome.
What a great thing to do, because that's our next generation of players. Those guys. So Emma, here's something that so Danny was mentioning our children, and all of our kids were athletes and played a variety of different sports. Let's send a message to the parents. So you've got a son or daughter, and we know they're the greatest, little softball player, little golfer.
Oh, they're all going pro, Jay. We all know that.
We all know that. Or college scholarships have been a big deal. But let's just have like a come to Jesus conversation with the parents. Like, let's just relax a little bit and let a kid be a kid.
Let them have fun. Let them learn on their own. They're going to do that regardless. I have a job because spouses and parents cannot get through to who they're trying to teach. That's why golf pros have jobs, right? You can't learn necessarily from family members, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but also you want to play with your kid in the long run, right? If you want your kid to play with you, you want them to enjoy you in the sport, and that is the first key, is letting them enjoy it to where they ask you to go back. Not, you're going to go do this, and you're going to take 50 swings, and we're going to start working on your club path and these numbers and those
and your
kids don't
grip
care.
And all the things that the kid's going to go, I hate this.
And they're not even built. I think what people forget is that kids are not fully grown, so their golf swing can't be mechanically sound. They have to throw their body at it. They have to do different moves to hit the ball well, and that's okay. Let us people who study that do that and have fun and watch your kid be successful,
So having said that, what do you study in a bay? So there's a lot of people listening and they think, you know what, it can be cold wherever they're listening, and we have people listening all over the place, and it's cold in the Midwest. What do you study in a bay in terms of speed and ball spin, all that kind of stuff?
So we've got over 40 data points that we look at when we're watching somebody in a bay. It depends on the age level where I'm personally going to focus on them. If I've got an adult, I'm usually going to look at way different numbers than a kid. With adults, you're looking at a lot of attack angle. You can look at club path. We can look at swing speed, ball speed, smash factors. There's over 40 data points, and they all tell us something. Truthfully, I walk into a bay, I watch somebody swing, I look for body movements, and then based off what I see, I go and confirm it with the numbers. So usually I'm pulling up all 40 at that point and examining to make sure exactly what I'm looking for matches what's going on in reading.
And Emma, what is so cool about that for the listener who is let's say they're an avid golfer, but let's say maybe they're middle-aged and they have some sort of recurring physical trouble. They've played sports when they were younger, and maybe they had a knee replaced, or maybe they got a back issue or something, and you watching this person, and then you can almost relate from the numbers to some body part that's not moving or functioning correctly, right?
100%, almost 90% of the time. And then that's, again, what brings Tyler back into the picture is, okay, we need to make this adjustment with your golf swing, and we're going to, but until you're mobile enough in this space and with this body movement, we're not going to do that. So go do these these 3 exercises will monitor you, and then when you're ready, we're going to pull you back into the bay and have you work drills out and rep it out until you're able to adjust. And that process goes a lot faster than forcing someone through pain, right?
Danny, our good buddy Steve Burke, I know you
great
love him.
guy.
He is, and we're giving him a shout out because he listens every week, but he has improved, I think, 13 miles an hour in his club head speed. And he is a lover of the game like no other. And it's an example of how a little bit of stretching and a little bit of a little concerted effort, but listening to you guys coach him, it made a difference. It's making a difference.
100%. And I've known Steve for a long time because I worked at the country club he's a part of, and I've seen him go through different lesson models.
You know what a pain in the ass member he is too, right?
He's such a good guy. But
you got to say that, Emma.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, I've watched him in those different scenarios, and to see him accomplish what he's accomplished through Elv8 is so fun. And like you said, he just loves the game. So people finding that success who already love the game and aren't succeeding as well as they'd like to at it, and then they're like, oh wow, I really can do better. I just needed to practice these things. It's so awesome to see the reaction.
Emma Corbett is our guest from Elv8 Golf, Director of Player Development. Now, all this stuff is great, but I need help on my short game, okay? I need a lot of help on my short game. So getting out of a bunker, putting, whatever the case may be, a chip. Now, we're talking about big swings. Now, can you help me with my short game? That's what a lot of people are wondering.
Yeah, of course we can. Short game is arguably the most important part of the game, right?
That's
how
right.
you score. And that's a big understanding. So we do a lot of fundamentals around short game over at Elv8, is making sure people are sound before we go into advanced stuff with them. You're going to run through an assessment just like your initial golf assessment, where we're going to check on your lag putting. We're going to check on your short putting. We're going to see, can you hit a stock shot, a bump and run, and a lob shot? You might not even know what club to grab for a lob shot. If that's the case, we're just going to tell you it's okay. Don't hit the shot. We'll just teach you how to do these things, and then we'll advance up there, right? But understanding simply setup, to me, is all of short game, period. A lot of people just have been taught wrong, to be honest with you. And I don't mean that in a tough way. Golf has just come a long way in technology, and we thought things were the case before, and they weren't. And now that we understand how body movement should work and all of that, making sure people have those sound movements, you can excel quick.
And Danny, this is an absolute throwback to Tiger Woods' effect in golf. It absolutely is bringing so many different eyeballs into the game, so much more interest, so much more. Oh man, we're going to take a look at this data. We're going to use data now. We're going to use all of these different things as tools to help us. And Emma, what is so obvious to me through this interview that I want to make sure people understand is that we are talking about a fully comprehensive overview of your golf game. We are leaving nothing out.
100%. We're going to cover everything for you. We're going to make sure you understand everything, and we're going to make sure you're comfortable. I always say to all athletes, regardless of their age, I want you to never be scared on the golf course. I don't want you to be scared of a bunker. I don't want you to be scared of the rough, a tree, anywhere. You're going to be all those places, so it's time for you to stop being scared and just learn how to hit it.
You got to teach me how to hit a ball from underwater, because I hit it everywhere, and I can't figure that one out.
Let's work on that one together.
Aquaman. I don't know. How do we do that? That is so great, though, because that fear... Because, Emma, if one of our friends hits a ball and you see it going into a fairway bunker or something, you can almost see the anxiety build up, and they're 5-8 minutes away from even
You're
getting
not even
to
there. Yeah, every time. It's what are you worried about? Just go hit. The ball's got to move forward to some degree. Just make sure it goes forward and get it in the hole quickly. That's all that matters.
Yep.
Best way to get a hold of folks at Elv8, what's the best way?
You can go to our website, elv8golf.com. You can reach us. You can find all of our contact information on there. All of the directors, everybody's emails are on there, as well as our cell phones on there.
Awesome. Great to have you in studio again.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Emma Corbett, Elv8 Golf, Director of Player Development, and this is Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Matt Minder with the Amateur Players Tour, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
When you're in the market for a new car, there's only one place that I go, and that's Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. Please call Colin Byrne over there. He's fantastic. His number is 314-966-0303. The Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood will treat you like your family. Not sure you want to buy a car? The Dean Team Volkswagen has the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles for lease or purchase. Colin found my Yukon that I'm driving today, and I love it. It's the best vehicle I've ever driven. My daughter Jo is on her third Volkswagen. She just took her car to service to get an oil change, and she said to me, and I'm quoting, "Dad, these guys are so nice, and they took such great care of me. They made sure her car was in great shape to get her back to school." Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, the official vehicle provider of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Golf with Jay Delsing is presented by SSM Health and Rehabilitation, Whitmore Country Club, CarShield, and Daugherty Business Solutions. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you tired of watching your golf scores go up every year? Despite new equipment and even a couple lessons, you still fight that slice or your inability to get that ball up and down out of the bunker? Well, get ready to experience better golf with Elv8 Golf. At Elv8 Golf, we're changing the way golfers practice with our innovative and data-driven approach to learning and, most importantly, improving. We have an array of membership options where you can find the perfect fit for your golf, your lifestyle, and your budget. Whether you start in our full-service gym, the short game area that has real sand bunker, or one of our 7 TrackMan simulator bays, the team at Elv8 Golf will do a complete assessment of you and your game, which is crucial because if you don't know where you're starting from, it's nearly impossible to attain a goal or a new level. Call us today at 636-265-0557 or visit us at elv8golf.com. That's ELV, the number 8, golf.com. Contact us today and get ready to play better golf.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
Recently, my nephew called me and said his basement had flooded and all the hardwood, carpet, and flooring had to be replaced. I told him I have the perfect place for you to go. At Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture, this second-generation family-owned business treats everyone just like their family. Jared Capps is continuing his mom and dad's 50-year business tradition where honesty, transparency, and service carry the day. My nephew loved the luxury vinyl product. Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture has the largest selection in the area. Whether you prefer Mohawk and the wide variety of their product lines, I love the Rev Wood product, by the way, or Karastan or Pergo Elements line, Jerseyville Flooring and Furniture will literally have you covered. You have pets? Let Jared tell you about the many sustainable flooring and carpet options that are pet-friendly but also easily maintained to keep your floors looking great every day. And don't forget about their huge selection of Lazy Boy recliners. They are awesome and one of the biggest selections in the Midwest. Call them today at 618-936-0536 and get your free estimate or set up a consultation with one of their experts. You can also go to jerseyvillecarpetandfurniture.net. Proud sponsor of Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, rated as the #1 golf show in the Midwest. Now let's get back to Jay and Dan.
Golf with Jay Delsing rolls on, and with Jay, I'm Dan. And again, our thanks to Emma Corbett from Elv8 Golf, and she is the Director of Player Development. The one thing I took away from that, Jay, is she loves kids. and getting kids involved in having team events and have them running around and hitting dinosaurs and whatever the case may be, but getting them involved in the game of golf.
Absolutely, making it fun, especially for the little guys, and that's what's important. You want the game to catch on, and you want them to love the experience. Will make it fun. You know what I mean? And so I was out at Elv8 last week and saw Emma interacting with, oh my gosh, I don't know how many kids were out there practicing. It had to be over 20, and they were in the bunker in the short game area, and Blake Laramie was out there, who's Kyle's son, and he was hitting some cool shots out of the bunker, you know, and so it's just got great energy, and these kids of all ages are learning the game. You could see they have little team competitions where they'll have, you know, a team of 2 players, and they'll have alternate shots, and you got to putt out, and they're just doing a lot of fun stuff.
All right, coming up after the timeout, we'll visit with Derek Sprague, and he is the CEO of the PGA of America. Don't want to miss that, and it should be something that we get into with pace of play. You talk about what's happening with the Ryder Cup, where it stands right now. All those things are coming up, and we'll visit with Derek Sprague. I want to ask you about going back to last week, Ludwig Aubert, and just what he did. The tournament was his to win on the back 9 of the final day. Maverick McNeely was right there. He had put it together. He was in place to win, but Aubert saw it, Jay, and he went out and he took the championship.
He did, Danny. You know, there's times where you look at certain events where a player, you would say, might have lost the championship by making some bogeys, making some mental errors, doing something, you know, that didn't help his chances. Maverick McNeely did not lose that championship. Ludwig Aubert won that tournament. He birdied 4 of his last 6 holes. I mean, Danny, Maverick McNeely hit a phenomenal putt that didn't go in on number 12 that would have put him 9 under par after 12 holes. Then he goes and plays 13 like a superstar, hits driver, wood on the middle of the green. He's got about a 15, 18-footer for eagle that he almost makes. And so Maverick McNeely for his final round is 9 under par after 13 holes. Now, here's what's interesting. If you wanted to get really nitpicky, I still would not say Maverick McNeely lost the tournament. But Maverick McNeely hit an unbelievable drive on 14 and had a pitching wedge into that green on 14 and wound up making bogey. And that was the only bogey he made the entire day. It was the only, but he didn't make any more birdies from that point on, Danny. And I can promise you, if it's me and I have just birdied the 13th hole, I birdied 9 of the 13 holes I played. That's 9 birdies and 4 pars. And I've got 5 holes left. You know what's on my mind? I'm birdieing every single hole. I mean, that is exactly what I'm thinking. And so it makes me wonder, his execution was a little off, but not bad. I mean, it's hard to win on the PGA Tour. Do you think he might have changed his strategy a little bit, Danny, after birdieing 13?
Or just gotten tight.
That's what I mean. I mean, you know,
realizing it's there to win.
Yeah, and that's tough. I mean, as you get closer to attaining these goals, you start dealing with so many more mental hurdles and gymnastics and
aggressiveness, maybe subsides a little bit.
He did not birdie 18.
Right.
He had a decent look at it, but it wasn't a great look at it. He didn't hit the green in 2. It's one of those sort of things. So, it's interesting, but my hat's off to Ludwig. I mean, we text Joey, our friend. We got to give a shout out to Joe Scoverin. Now, Joe Scoverin, folks, is Ludwig's caddy. Joe also caddied for Ricky Fowler. He caddied, he had one other bag before Ludwig's. I can't remember. Yeah, but I'll think of it. It's not important. But we're shouting out to Joey because he just made $400,000 last weekend caddying on the PGA Tour. Wow.
I love it when these guys are making money like they are.
How about what Teddy Scott made last year? $6 million.
It's incredible.
Ted Scott made. So, yeah, more power to them. Hats off to golf, the PGA Tour. That's but it was fun watching down the stretch. And, you know, Danny, Aubert made a great 2-putt on 18. That was not an easy putt. That putt looks like it breaks a ton to the right, and it doesn't. It flattens out and goes back left, and he holed about a 7-8 footer to win that championship, and it's impressive. He Here's why this win is both good and bad. It's good because we love the game, and this kid is young and a stud. Tiger Woods said, it doesn't look like much can go wrong with this swing. And I'm like, wow. You get Tiger Woods saying that. Here's where it's bad, Danny. He doesn't play for the red, white, and blue in the Ryder Cups
Right.
every other year. This boy, we're going to be looking and rooting against this boy 1 week every 2 years.
They were talking about what a great ball striker he is.
Yeah.
What is it about it that you see that makes him a great ball striker?
Well, first of all, for his size, he's a tall kid that you don't get great ball strikers typically that are tall. A lot of the good ball strikers are stockier guys, were built more like a Hal Sutton. Hal Sutton was a really good ball hitter. But Ludwig is tall, 6'4", lots of speed. But Danny, one of the things that he doesn't move a lot. And that is not easy when you're tall. I know with my swing, when I get off, I feel like my legs are moving south and my body's moving north and I can't figure anything out. Ludwig just looks like he's got great body control and his rhythm and timing are really, really good. One thing I want to mention, when you watch him, watch his pre-shot routine, Danny. He never stays still too long. He's moving his feet, so it's more of a continuous motion. There's some rhythm to him hitting some of his shots. Clearly, with the driver, he's got his feet moving, and he's doing that intentionally, so to keep it much more an athletic endeavor.
The thing I love about him as a fan is his attitude.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what point in the round or the tournament he's in, he's smiling.
Yeah.
He's talking to people.
Yeah.
He looks relaxed. So I love seeing that. And the other thing is he's going to win a major. You know he's going to win a major at some point.
How'd you like his first major championship he played in last year at the Masters?
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
And he was smiling the whole time,
And
Jay.
he finished second. It was amazing. It didn't even look like the pressure was bothering him. And it was bothering me. And I was, 1,000 miles away in my couch. It was awesome.
I love Lou Stagner. Okay, you love him too.
Yeah.
And for folks that don't know who Lou Stagner is, you need to follow him on X, formerly known as the great Twitter. And so he tweets out, though, information that is so good, getting into the numbers. And one of the things he's looking at is aim point. Now, explain aim point before I get into the numbers.
So aim point is a putting tool that, I forget the name of the guys that created aim point, but they created this system where you're using your feet to basically help you read the putts and figure out how much this putt is going to break by using your feet and feeling the slope.
Okay. You ready for this?
I am.
So Lou is looking at aim point, and he's looking at the date that the players started using it and how much the numbers have changed. Would you guess that it's better or it's worse? What do you think?
Boy, I want to say I don't think it's better.
It is better.
Wow.
So he's finding out that aim point is actually working. Now, it's only 2 players, so it's a very small sample size. But we talk about speeding up the game and the pace of play.
Yeah.
And that slows it down. Aim point definitely does that, but it's showing some benefits for the players that are using it.
Did he say which 2 players he used?
Did not.
Any? Okay, he probably wasn't able to do that. But what's interesting, did you hear Lucas Glover's comments about aim point where he said, quite frankly, I feel like it's rude. You're standing up all around the hole. It's not, it's one thing to be able to stand there and need to stand there because you're hitting a putt and you're playing a championship. But for you to read a putt, you're going to be standing where my ball has to roll over. And, that's not cool. I thought that was interesting.
I love the other thing that Lou is looking at. I always dig in on what Lou's got going. So he wanted to look at walking or riding. For the average player out there, which is faster? And it's walking. If you're walking a course as opposed to taking a cart, he has found in his large sample size of people that play the game, he said that walking is faster.
How does he figure that out?
I have no idea.
I wonder if that's carts on the path only.
Maybe so. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because if you're riding up to your ball, you got to think, man, this got to be faster than walking off the tee and you hit it. Well, of course, in my case, I'm hitting it at least 300.
Exactly, right down the pipe.
Right. I'm just going right to it. But, your average duffer that's out there, they're hitting it, 220 maybe? Something like that, 230?
Yeah.
And that's a pretty decent drive for
a damn good drive.
Weekend warrior.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Walking is actually faster.
Wow.
Now, I guess you think about digging up balls and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
But I've always felt if we walk, which is very rarely, but I remember we did it one time, and it seemed like it was a better, for me, it was better to play that way.
It was better. I agree with you, Danny.
And it just
Walking
seemed
is
faster.
better. Yep,
Yeah.
You get a better sense on how to play the game when you walk. It just gives you a little more time, and I don't know, it's your body's moving. I prefer walking.
Now, as much as if I'm caddying for you, as much as we talk, I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Probably not.
I'll be sitting out. You'll pipe one down the middle, 340 or whatever it is.
Or
maybe
longer.
350. Yeah, maybe 350.
Danny's blind, by the way. Go ahead, folks.
and you and I would sit there and talk about something that has nothing to do with golf. So
Right.
I'm not sure that you'd be faster.
Right. I don't know. That's what I like. But Danny, that's what I used to do with all my caddies is that once the shot's off, we'll talk about sports, we'll talk about hockey, the Blues, we'll talk about a movie we saw, we'll talk about, anything.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's what keeps your mind, where it's supposed to be.
Let's hope. Derek Sprague, the CEO of the PGA of America, is coming up, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
On the tee, from Sweden, Annika Sörenstam.
Hi, this is Annika, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
As you know from hearing Danny and I talk about Marcone for the last 3 years, you know how philanthropic they are. Whether it's their undying support for first responders, the backstoppers, or our wonderful military heroes, Marcone is leading our community in supporting the police, fire, first responders, or the military. From Wreaths Across America to the Marcone First Responders viewing deck at the Stiefel Charity Classic, Marcone is there, making a difference in our community any way they can. That's Marcone, the largest supplier of General Electric parts in North America and proud supporter of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
For the best in Italian cuisine in St. Louis, look no further than Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield. It's traditional Italian cooking, and their best ingredient, it's their tradition. It's cooking like Paul's grandmother used to make, and like his mother still prepares today. There are no corners cut at Paul Manno's. From greeting you at the door to the pasta you'll share with your family, Paul Manno's is committed to bringing you their very best anytime you share a meal at their place. It's Paul Manno's, located in Chesterfield.
Do you realize that the Gateway section and the over 350 men and women are here to serve you in any way they can? Whether it's running your member guest, getting the driving range prep for your next practice session, or maybe just you and your girl getting in a quick 9 and then dinner after work. The Gateway PGA professionals are here for you. I bet you didn't realize the Gateway section, one of the 41 sections around this great country, has been rated in the top 3 in many of the most important categories. Your Gateway, or Great Way section, as it's affectionately known, is here for you to help you any way possible. The Gateway section of PGA Golf Professional, here to assist you with all of your golfing needs. You can visit them at gatewaypga.org and make sure you look for some of these other cool programs. PGA Reach, the PGA Junior League, or the award-winning PGA Hope program that helps our veterans. That's the Gateway PGA of America, here for you.
This is Adam Betts from Family Golf and Learning Center, located in Kirkwood. Our motto is play your best golf. We have the best instruction for every skill level. 2 female instructors along with our 8 PGA instructors. We're there for the kids and the adults who are starting to play and trying to refine their game. Family Golf and Learning Center features a double-decker driving range, grass tees, and a short game area, along with indoor simulators and a performance center. That's not all. Don't forget about our back 9 bar and grill. Find out how we can help you and your family. Head to familygolfonline.com. That's familygolfonline.com. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, where we make St. Louis better at golf.
Okay, so you've heard me talk about the best community bank in St. Louis. Yes, that's People's National Bank. With over 17 locations throughout St. Louis and the Metro East, and a staff of local St. Louisans, People's National Bank has you and your family covered for all of your banking needs. But that's not all. People's National Bank has everything you and your business could ever need. Business checking and business savings accounts? Yes. Business credit cards and employee services? Yes, you can count on those too, and much, much more. Remember this name, Jason Rantham. This local bank president is here to assist in any way possible. His personal cell is 314-974-2243. That's right. Call the bank president on his cell, and he will take great care of you. People's National Bank prescribes to the golden rule. So call Jason today and see for yourself. People's National Bank is here for you and all of your commercial banking needs. That's People's National Bank.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. Have a question for Jay? Log on to jdelsinggolf.com. Now let's head back to Jay and Dan.
This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and with Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin. We continue on the show. Derek Sprague is with us, the CEO of the PGA of America. And Derek, thanks for your time. We know you're busy, but we certainly appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. I look forward to it.
So, Derek, gosh, this is great. You're following. You got big shoes to fill. Seth Wall was just a great guy and a great supporter and grower of the game. We're really excited for your time to take the helm. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in golf. Tell us a little bit about Malone, New York, because we're really intrigued about where you spent a lot of your time.
Yeah, so we grew up actually I grew up on the first hole of what today is called the East Golf Course. We expanded in '87 to 36 holes in a small town, less than 10,000 people, right at the Canadian border. And my mother used to say, to her friends, she was a longtime school teacher, and she used to say that, a golf course is the safest playground in America. She could send me across the street, and we could see the clubhouse from our driveway, and I would walk up to the PGA professional there, and he'd have me go out with the first groups in the morning and make sure I set a good pace. Now, you set a good pace, Derek. Keep them moving. Keep those old guys moving. So I played with adults really from a young age. Then my mother would have to call the pro shop and say, "Can you send Derek home for dinner?" I was either playing 36 holes or beating balls on the range or on the putting green. So it was a great upbringing. So, I've really lived on a golf course my entire career, other than now I'm commuting to work here in Frisco, Texas. But no, just a great upbringing in Malone. And the other cool part about Malone, growing up as a kid, and we're so close to the Canadian border. We're about an hour and 15 minutes south of Montreal. In 1976, they had the Olympics in Montreal. So my parents brought me to the Olympics, where we saw Nadia Comaneci get the first 10 in gymnastics. And then coincidentally or ironically, I guess, 4 years later, they had the Winter Olympics in 1980 in Lake Placid, and that was an hour south of Malone. So here I was, a kid in little old Malone, New York, going to Olympic Games in two different countries 4 years apart. I don't think there's too many people that in the world that can say they've gone to Summer Games and Winter Games 1 hour from their house in two different countries.
That is fantastic.
Oh,
but
man.
Your life now is about the game of golf, and when you're the CEO of the PGA of America, there's a lot that's on your plate. So just a general question, what do you think of the state of the game right now?
Well, certainly, the recreational game is at an all-time high. Our PGA professionals are doing better than they ever have, compensation-wise, growth-wise. Really, and like I like to say, we've seen just tremendous growth since the pandemic, an outdoor sport, safe environment in 2020 and 2021. And that momentum has continued, and it's been the PGA member, the PGA of America and our 31,000 strong, really were at the center of that growth, making sure that they implemented safe protocols throughout the country. And we all lived it, right? There was different counties and government ordinances that allowed you to play or not play. I can remember talking to some other general managers and saying, well, they had to wear masks on the driving range outdoors. I'm like, that's crazy. And they said, well, that's the mandate from our county, you know? So, but it was the PGA professional that navigated all that has led to sort of the growth that we're seeing today on the recreational side. Now, a lot of the attention, of course, is on the elite side of the game with the last 18 months to 24 months with Live Golf and the PGA Tour and the elite level of the game. And certainly there's been some turmoil at that level. But I think, there's recent talks that you guys have probably covered on your show that, things are looking or sounding anyway, promising that they may get back together, and that will only help continue the momentum that we've seen on the recreational side of the game, and hopefully fans will continue to watch the sport and return to watching the sport with the best players in the world.
Derek, it's interesting because like you said, our measurables are off the charts, and in the state of the game outside of the men's is probably we've never been anywhere close to this good. But one of the things that I want you to chat about, if you don't mind, is, to me, the PGA of America has been such a stabilizing force through a lot of this turmoil. The PGA Tour, which is near and dear to my heart as well, is a mess. And when you think about, like what you said, the local guys navigating the local PGA men and women navigating the membership through a global pandemic, and we've come out on the other side thriving and things like that. I mean, it's been the leadership of the PGA of America. We have the PGA Junior League, which is really doing a great job with children and kids and the next generation of us. But I wonder what your thoughts are there.
We met with a potential donor the other day for our PGA Reach, which is just, it's just a great program, and I'll touch on that a little bit more. But when you look at the PGA of America, we have majors on every tour. We have our KPMG Women's PGA Championship. We have our Senior PGA Championship, our PGA Championship, and then the crown jewel with the Ryder Cup. So all our spectator championships, they're all majors, right? So you can look at it, we have 40% of the majors out there, which shines the light on the work that the PGA professionals do, like PGA Junior League and PGA Hope, which were really saving lives with our veterans and our active military. And then PGA Works, giving the people of color great opportunities. I happen to be we hosted two of the PGA Works Collegiate Championships at TPC Sawgrass when I was there. So these are the opportunities that our foundation provides. And in talking to this potential donor, I said, the PGA of America is sort of one-stop shopping. We have majors on every tour in the spectator championships, but then we have 31,000 strong. We got an army of people that really are the tangible connection to the game. They're delivering lessons. They're growing the game by teaching people how to play for the first time, teaching them how to play better, which means they'll play more. That's part of the growth, I think, that we're seeing here. And then we're doing fantastic programs, like I already mentioned, with 77,000 kids in PGA Junior League, an all-time high. And then also the neat story about PGA Junior League is the diversity, right? With the people of the young kids of color in that program, and our girls are representing close to 30% in that program. And that's going to help continue to grow that when we're seeing youth and women and people of color is the highest growth rate in the game today. And it's the PGA professional that's at the center of all that, at the grassroots and the ground level, helping to grow that.
It's so exciting, Derek. And I mean, when I think back about your career, and you started in small town Malone, New York, but you were down at Sawgrass. You've also been the president of the PGA of America. Your resume is loaded, but you've seen this thing from a lot of different windows.
Right. I mean, it's, and I think that will help me on the governance side of being the CEO here, is that, coming from a small town, and even though we had a very busy busy club in Malone, New York. It was a semi-private facility where we had 800 plus members paying less than $1,000 a year to play all the golf they wanted there. And then I had a short stint at Liberty National, which is one of the most expensive clubs in the world and very private. So I saw it there, and then that's where I started running championships from the club side. So I've seen really the championship, running the President's Cup there at Liberty National, and then for the last 7 years running the Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass. So you're right. I mean, one thing with me, Jay, is that I only look forward. I never look backward. I didn't really realize my career, if you will, until I got into this process here, and people were asking me about this and that. And I'm like, oh, I guess my experience does line up well to be the CEO of the PGA of America, because, I can relate to what our 31,000 strong have do in their career day in and day out. But then also I've seen the championship side, which is a big part of what the PGA of America does, both for our PGA members. We run lots of great PGA member events throughout the year. And when, 20 qualify for the PGA Championship, 35 qualify for the Senior PGA Championship. And then we have, I think, 8 or 12 get to qualify for the KPMG Women's PGA Championship on the women's side. So, having all that experience, I think, helps me navigate, or will help me. I'm in, week 2 here at headquarters, or as we like to say, home quarters of the PGA. And so I think it'll help me, to be able to pull on those experiences of my career to be successful in this role.
Derek Sprague is the CEO of the PGA of America here on Golf with Jay Delsing. You mentioned that you always look forward, but I am curious about the rollback of the golf ball. Where do you stand with that, and how the PGA of America is getting ready to brace that in a few years?
Yeah, so that's, we talked a lot about that at the PGA show, and I've been in contact with the USGA on that, and they provided me with some more information. And I guess my biggest concern with that is one, I don't know too many recreational golfers that want to hit it shorter. Probably there's a number of professional golfers that don't want to hit it shorter either. And, I'm also concerned for our PGA professionals, the implementation of this rule, because it's going to be the PGA member that's going to have to be governing this rule at the local level. Like, what are we going to do with the secondary market golf balls that, Jay Delsing tees it up in the club championship? I'm going to have you empty your entire bag on the first tee to say, okay, which balls are conforming and which ones aren't? And then, am I going to follow you, and make sure you don't find a ball in the woods, because, millions of golf balls are not always landing in the fairway each year. So that's just one example.
Especially out of Jay Delsing's bag. They're not landing in the fairway, Derek.
Exactly. So, that's one example of a concern. So I just want to, I'm going to work with, I'm very collaborative type leader. I'm working with, I'll be meeting with the USGA and the RNA and discussing what that implementation looks like, and if there is any variations that we can discuss to make it easier for our members. Because, and just likewise, without any ball rollback, it's the PGA member that is administering these events at their clubs, around throughout the country here, and they're the ones that need to have clarity on how they're going to govern this and how they're going to implement these changes. So it's, time will tell, but I look forward to working with the USGA and the RNA and the PGA World Alliance, who I met with at the PGA show, which represents 60,000 plus PGA members around the world. They have the same concern as we do on this side of the pond as they do on the other side of the pond, that their PGA members are going to be in the middle of governing this rules change. And I see it being really challenging, because everybody needs a golf ball in their bag. And we went through this with the long putter back in, I think, 2013 or 2014, somewhere in that time frame. And that's a little bit easier, right? A lot of fewer people use the long putter, and it's very visible. You can see if they're anchoring or not anchoring. Although, I know some people would debate that too, but the golf ball, everybody's using that, and it's a little bit tougher to implement and to govern.
Gosh, Derek, it's got to be, I don't know kind of what the word is. You kind of think of Godsmack almost when you think about how you're thrust right in the middle of this, these entities. These are people that I'm sure as a kid you looked up to and thought, holy smokes, the Royal and Ancient and the USGA, and now you're at the table with these guys. It's got to be thrilling and probably a little overwhelming at times.
Yeah, it's I've been in the game a long time, Jay, and I think certainly I do look up to them. I respect all these organizations, and like I said, with my leadership style, I want to be at the table with them and have meaningful discussions. And certainly, we're never going to agree, or rarely going to agree on some of these topics. But as long as we have a full understanding and thorough discussion and a full understanding of how it affects our 31,000 strong here, I'm sure we can find ways to work together, but we just got to have those meaningful discussions. And I think that's what we're going to attempt to do in short order here in the coming weeks and months with the governing bodies.
Derek Sprague is our guest, CEO of the PGA of America. Not too far away, it's the Ryder Cup. What are the preparations like in the next few months as you get ready for one of golf's biggest stages?
Yeah, well, we got just a great championship season this year with, starting out with the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow, and then the Senior PGA at Congressional, and then we're bringing the KPMG Women's PGA Championship right here to our home quarters here at PGA Frisco. So there's a lot of buzz here already on that. And then, like you said, we'll culminate with the Ryder Cup at Bethpage in New York and out on Long Island. So just a great championship season lining up. It's always exciting when it's a Ryder Cup year and a domestic Ryder Cup at that. The preparations are going very well. Corporate hospitality is an all-time high. Ticket sales obviously are an all-time high, and it's going to be passionate crowds in New York, and we'll have, I'm sure, passionate European fans as well to make it really a dramatic and epic Ryder Cup this fall.
Well, being a New Yorker, passion. Those guys are going to take this thing to a new level. And Derek, I don't think our listeners, if they haven't attended a Ryder Cup, don't really appreciate the degree of patriotism that they'll see, especially on our soil.
That's a good point. And, we opened the show telling you about the story of the Olympics, right? So I was a young kid going to those Olympics back in 76 and 1980. And maybe that's where my patriotism was really born, because even though it was tough for me to sometimes see the event going on or the particular play or whatever, the energy and the electricity in the air of people rooting for their countrymen or countrywomen, whether it's the USA or other countries around the world, it really is something special. And if you have not experienced an Olympics or a Ryder Cup, to your point, it's really something at another whole level. And I was fortunate enough to be president back in 2016 when golf came back into the Olympics after quite a hiatus in 1904. I think was the last time it was played. And again, it was like immediate, right? Like when those players got on the tee from the United States of America and the national anthems played during medals ceremonies or whatever, that is meaningful. And it really makes you reflect on how lucky we are to live in the United States and to cheer on our fellow countrymen.
Derek, much was made recently about the player pay and the Ryder Cup, and we know that the PGA of America has made a substantial step up. For me, Derek, I'm tired of talking about the men's game and money. I get it. I mean, there's a lot on the line here and things like that, but gosh, man, I just want to get back to the game and let the dollars just be what they are.
Right. I mean, and I feel similar to you, Jay. But I think, the big winner, the way we structured it, the way our board structured it, is that charity is going to be the ultimate winner here, because we increased that number significantly with it going to charity. And then quite a few people have already mentioned, including Captain Bradley, saying that he's going to donate the whole thing. So I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a win for charity. And, we're really excited about that. And I think the players, to your point, are hearing that as well from the fans and and from other people in the industry, and they're stepping up, doing the right thing, donating the entire amount to charity, and I think that'll be good for the game.
Derek Sprague is our guest, CEO of the PGA of America. There's been so much attention made about the pace of play when you're watching the PGA Tour, especially on television. They want to see more action. How can you improve upon that, and what are those discussions like to improve pace of play?
We haven't had many of those discussions here at the PGA of America yet, or at least I haven't been involved with those. I'm sure Kerry Haig who's our chief championships officer and has been a long time employee of the PGA of America, and the best in the business. Of course, I'm biased, but I've heard that from a number of people. But I'm sure we'll be working with the PGA Tour and seeing what they plan to do, if anything, on that. The LPGA just came out with their pace of play plans, but it's something that we have to pay attention to. The fans, don't want to see it take forever to play out there, and other sports like baseball are trying to speed it up. So it's a hot topic right now, and hopefully the players get the message that they have to be fan centric, and we want them to hit great shots, but do they need to take a long time to hit those great shots? And we've all played behind folks right on the golf course that are like, what are they waiting for? And then they duff it, or hit a bad shot, and you're like, there, why'd they wait that long? So I think there's got to be a happy balance going forward, where we can make sure that the game's in a good spot and people enjoy watching it as well as playing it.
Derek, because we're basically in the entertainment business, right? I mean, our fans are golf fans, but they want to be entertained. And when I think of entertainment, can you talk a little bit about what people can expect when they come down to Frisco? Because we've heard that this entity, we've got the golf courses, we've got the town center, just on and on. I think with Omni, this is something that it's almost become a destination.
It really has, and we just had a great meeting with our partners from Omni yesterday, and talking about making each other successful, and between the beautiful 500 plus room hotel that the Omni folks have, and then our home quarters on the other end of that, and then we have the Northern Texas PGA with great player development parts of their office right nearby, and then we have this special PGA district where you have a Top Golf lounge there, and you have a ice house where you can get nice cold beer. You get we got a short course out there. We got a massive putting green, and although it's cool today, when I first got here, it was pretty warm, and I came up to the office here, and I walked out in this PGA district, and it wasn't really warm, but I'm going to say it was in the 50s or 60s, and there had to be a couple hundred people just walking around the district. And the beauty of that for me was there was a lot of youth there just having fun, and seeing parents out on this putting green or the short course for their kids. And that's one of the things that I think is beautiful about our sport, is that it's participatory for the entire family, multi-generations of family, right? How many times do you hear grandparents are the ones that introduce their kids to the game? They have more time while mom and dad are out working or whatever. And this whole PGA district between the resort and here really adds a really cool element to people coming to PGA Frisco, because it does give you sort of that nightlife and that experience. They have a large screen TV, having movie nights on Friday nights and stuff like that. I mean, it's something really unique and something really special that the folks from Omni have built here, and we're glad to be part of it. And we're going to work hard to make sure that it's very successful. And so far in the first 18 months to 3 years here, different parts of the development over that period have come online, and so far the results are very, very good.
Derek, as you know, and final question for me, we are based here in St. Louis, so you got to tell us, how's our guy Nathan Carnes doing? What's he up to, and what's it like working hand in hand with him?
And give us some dirt on him, Derek, because everybody says only nice things about Nathan. We want to throw some shade at him.
Well, I'll tell you where Nathan and I got our start. I was in office 10 plus years ago, and Nathan picked me up and brought me to the section meeting there. And I knew right away that this guy had leadership ability, and planted the seed with him that I knew he was going to go places. And he proved that to be right, being elected, and now is the vice president of the PGA of America. So I don't have any dirt on Nathan, unfortunately for you guys, but he, as you've seen, as we've witnessed, and our 31,000 have witnessed, that he's just a strong leader. And we like to share stories. As you know, we've had PGA championships there and senior PGAs at Belle Reve, and you guys also have one great sports town, but you have great food in St. Louis. And I told Nathan I look forward to going back there and going to Charlie Gito's on the Hill, which is one of my favorite restaurants.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. One of the other things that we're so proud of here in the Gateway, and I guess they're calling it the Great Way section, that's irritating some of our fellow PGA professionals, is a couple of our local members have been recognized nationally. John DePriest with PGA Hope, and then Mike Surrey with Junior Development. And we couldn't be prouder of what those guys are doing and in those different entities.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you how great that section is, and I can see where some people say they're the Great Way section, and they've done some just incredible work in that section, and it's great to see the individual professionals in that section be recognized at the national level, and I'm confident that they won't be the last two that are recognized nationally, because the section does such great work out there, and just a lot of great professionals are in that section, and I'm sure we're going to have more national award winners coming out of there.
Derek, we can't thank you enough for your time. We know that you have a lot on your plate. It's a busy season, getting ready to really roll out as the summer months get here. So thanks for doing this, and thanks for joining us on Golf with Jay Delsing.
Well, thanks for having me, guys, and keep up the good work out there.
That's Derek Sprague, CEO of the PGA of America, on Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Dan Politis, PGA golf professional, and you are listening to Golf with Jay Delsing and Danny Mack. I listen every week.
Hey, this is Jay Delsing for SSM Health Physical Therapy. Our golf program has the same screening techniques and technology as the pros on the PGA Tour use. SSM Health Physical Therapy has the Titleist Performance Institute trained physical therapists that can perform the TPI screening on you, as well as use the K-Vest 3D motion capture system. Proper posture, alignment, etc. can help you keep your game right down the middle. We have 80 locations in the St. Louis area. Call 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing. To connect with Jay, log on to jdelsinggolf.com. You'll see the latest in equipment, find the latest innovations in golf, and get tips from a PGA professional. That's jdelsinggolf.com.
The game of golf is booming in popularity. All of our measurables are at or near all-time record levels. Remember this name for any and all of your golf needs. It's Pro-Am Golf. You need lessons? Tom DeGrand continues to provide our area with top-level instructions. His 40-plus years of experience matter. What about a golf gift for that someone special in your life? Maybe it's shoes, clothing, or golf's latest tech. Yes, sir, Pro-Am Golf has you covered. This family-owned and operated business has been serving our community for the last 45-plus years. You can visit Pro-Am Golf at proamgolfusa.com, or do like I do. Go over to the Brentwood location and meet the DeGrands yourself. You won't be disappointed. Pro-Am Golf for all your golf needs, or check out proamgolfusa.com.
Golf with Jay Delsing is presented by People's National Bank, Powers Insurance, and Pro-Am Golf. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
professional golfer, as you watch on TV every Sunday afternoon, never ventures onto the course without his trusted caddy. This was true for me for my entire career. I want you to think of Powers Insurance as your insurance caddy that you never had. Just as my golf caddy helped me to assess risk on the golf course, Powers Insurance can do the same for you in your busy and complicated life. Tim Davis, COO at Powers Insurance, did exactly that for me and saved me over 50% on one of my coverages. A good insurance risk advisor can help you know when to take a chance or when it may be smarter to take a little more club. Give the folks at Powers Insurance a call and get a caddy for all of your insurance needs. Call them at 314-725-1414. That's 314-725-1414. That's Powers Insurance.
This is Paul Lazinger, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Coming to you from the CarShield Studios, this is Golf with Jay Delsing. We're presented by Daugherty Business Solutions. And with Jay Delsing, I'm Dan McLaughlin as the show rolls on. And again, our thanks to Derek Sprague, the CEO of the PGA of America. There was a lot to unpack there, from the state of the game, rollback of the golf ball, the increased pay for guys and gals across the board throughout the United States that are helping us out, 30,000 plus, the Ryder Cup. There was a lot to get into.
Boy, I agree. You know what's really interesting, Danny, when you look at the way Derek Sprague was introduced to the game, and he started in such modest beginnings. What a success story. I mean, Malone, New York, really? I mean, folks, if you're really, got some time on your hands, go take a look and see where Malone, New York is. It is right, I mean, it's like an hour from Montreal. It is so far north. And, I've got great friends up in upstate New York, but that is not a hotbed for a lot of golf. And you start thinking about Derek Sprague, who's now the CEO of the PGA of America, who also, was the president of the PGA of America, which means he went through the system like our good buddy
Nathan
Carnes has done. And so, Danny, how about the story about one year he goes up to the Summer Olympics in Montreal, and the next year he goes to the Winter Olympics at Lake Placid.
It's awesome.
That's crazy.
Now, you and I have a trip that we need to book. We need to go down to Frisco, Texas.
Yeah, we do.
See the headquarters and see what it's all about.
Absolutely. The golf courses are maturing, and what's really cool, Danny? The LPGA is playing their championship, the KMPG championship, and it's a major championship, obviously, at one of the golf courses there in Frisco. So I have it in mind. I've seen it online. I've gone over the whole thing. It's almost like I've already been there, but I want to see that town square. I want to see that massive putting green. They've got the big screen TV out there, so you get family nights and movie nights. I think it's just super cool.
Okay, in our final segment, I'm going to ask Jay about public courses nationwide to rank them.
Oh, I love it.
And also locally here in St. Louis. Now, before I get to that, I got to ask you, what is your handicap? If you had to take a guess at what your handicap is, what do you think it is?
Probably a +2.
At least a +2.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I'd say at least that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a hack, but we get to play a lot together. So
Yes.
I went down this rabbit hole of like, okay, I'm playing with Jay. Played with Trevor Dodds. Trevor is very good.
Yeah.
He's +1 or, scratch or whatever.
Yeah.
So playing with the scratch,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to behave? What are the things? Look at the big smile you have on your face.
Behavior is always an interesting word to use.
So one of the things it said is don't insist on playing the same tees as that scratch player, which I tried to do last summer.
Yeah. Well, sometimes if we go back a little too far, you don't need to go back. But the one thing you still have plenty of speed, man. You can hit your driver on your good days. You can hit your driver 250 or more. And so you can have those days, but regularly speaking on a daily basis, that's a tough ask. that's a tough ask, man. You got just such a better chance of hitting more greens playing from tees that are more, more commiserate with your handicap.
This one's interesting. They say, don't say to you, good shot. I'm not supposed to say good shot.
Well, here's what happens. And this is great because what's a good shot for you and what's a good shot for
right.
It's not the same. So like I'll never forget one of the first times I played in a Pro-Am and I get up there and I'm on this par 3 and I hit this iron shot and it looks real pretty and everything and winds up going in the bunker. And 3 of my amateur partners said good shot.
Right.
And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
Usually my good shots manage to find the green, but that's okay. We'll take good shot. So a lot of times they're nervous, Danny, and they also can't see and they don't know where the balls are going. Even though I don't see real well from a distance, I hit my ball and I have a really good idea where it is.
Now, this one doesn't necessarily apply to you because you're a pro, 30 years on the PGA Tour, still a pro playing on PGA Tour champions. But they say, don't ask a scratch golfer, hey, you think about turning pro? You're not supposed to do that one. Don't do that one.
I wonder why I wonder why they say that. I guess I don't know that. I don't know why. I guess they're not good enough.
Okay, this one I know you're gonna jump into this one. Don't be afraid to get some action going.
Oh yeah, you got to get some action going. I mean, everybody will love that. And look at Denny. That's the beauty about our game, right? You can get a lot of strokes. We played one day where I gave you a stroke every hole.
Yeah, it still didn't turn out well.
I thought it did. I thought it turned out well. Anyway,
yeah, you did for sure.
No, so I mean, that's the one thing that is so super cool. And I tell people this all the time. One of the things that differentiates professional golf over the other games, and then it trickles down to the amateur game as well, is that in our Pro-Ams, somebody's going to get paired with Tiger Woods. I mean, they're going to get to say, I played 18 holes of golf with Tiger Woods. Danny, you can't say you ever shot around with Michael Jordan or you got to, play tennis with Djokovic. Or, it's you don't get that chance. If you and I played one-on-one against MJ, it'd be 10. Well, if we played at 10,
10-0.
It'd be 10-0. If we played at 20, it'd be
20-0.
20-0. We wouldn't even, he could give us the ball, start us at 9. We got to go to 10, and we wouldn't win.
I'm going to get back to these in a moment, but the top players, this is the wrong term to use probably, but they're forced to play in the Pro-Ams. They may not want to do it, but right. Tiger, Rory, all these guys, Scotty Scheffler, that's part of their duty of being on the PGA Tour.
And one of the things that we used to do was we used to try to explain to to these players how important this was, because from a business standpoint, this is part of our business model. And Danny, what the funny thing is, a young player would come up on the tour and play well and stay out on tour for 3 or 4 years, start coming to some of our meetings and say, how can we get rid of the Pro-Ams? And we're like, you just keep playing well. We'll keep managing the business side of this thing.
Yeah.
But that is a differentiator in our sport, man. I mean, you cannot get on the football field, with Patrick Mahomes, man. It's not happening.
Okay, back to being paired with a scratch.
Yeah.
Or in my case, a +2 with Jay, which is just so much fun. Make sure you give gimmies. You got to do that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's a thing, but that is a thing.
Okay, you have to do that.
Yep, that is a thing. My dad told me one of the first things I ever remember with golf. He said, if someone in the group says it's good, pick it up.
No matter what.
Don't just get it, put it in your pocket and move on.
Don't offer swing advice and don't ask.
Ever. Yeah. No.
You don't like that, do you?
Yeah.
But you offer it all the time.
I'm glad to offer. If I offer advice to you, you won't take it. You're
sir.
just playing golf with me. You're not having to teach me. I like trying to help the folks that I play with. But, yeah, there's no way in hell that a 15 handicap is going to say to a scratch golfer, let me help you with your swing.
Ain't going to
happen. I mean, you could say it, but it ain't going to happen, and it shouldn't happen, and it probably won't ever happen.
Don't apologize for your game.
No.
Don't apologize for it.
Plus, this scratch golfer, he's been bad before, too. All of us have bad days. All of us have days where this daggone ball will not fly the direction that we want it. It's part of it. I mean, I think, Danny, there's some weird fraternity that we're in, that kind of we love misery to a degree, that we love this game. And this is a funny story. I had a Blake Scornia, great young guy, called me and asked if I could help him get on a golf course down in Hilton Head. So I called the director of golf down there. He's a fella that's about my age, and we just started commiserating a little bit. And he had me laughing, and I said to him, Joe, it's funny that we still even like this game at all. I mean, it's absolutely tortured us. It's made us laugh. It's made us cry more often, and la. And it got quiet for a minute, and he said, Jay, I don't really like it anymore.
You still love it, though.
I do. I'm a masochist. I do. I wish we could play now, which, of course, we can't even sniff it because of all the snow. But I do. I look forward to... Danny, it's given me everything in my life. I'm sitting here with you, a guy that's got 4 Emmys and with the Cardinals for 25 years and going back really soon, God willing. And we're talking golf, man. And then we get to go out and play, and I get to help your daughter. I mean, the game's given me everything. It's introduced me to people. The term out-kicking my coverage is so applicable, and I don't want to stop. So don't wake me up from this dream that I'm having, because it's been great, man.
All right, the final one says...
And I say that a lot, but I swear I mean it.
Oh, I love the fact you're not bitter.
I am not. Dude, it could have gone a lot of ways, man.
Not bitter.
No.
I love it. All right, the final one says be yourself. No matter what, you got to be yourself.
Yeah.
If you're bad and you're playing with a scratch, or in my case, a +2, just be yourself.
Yep. You know what, Danny? We all miss 3-footers. We all hit some shots that we don't like. You just got to... we go to the 19th hole and we're all scratched.
There
right?
you go.
You go to the 19th hole, we can sit down, we can commiserate about how the ball bounced the wrong way and this putt lipped out. And then guess what? We come out the next day and we're like, today's going to be better.
Yeah.
Today's going to be better. I got to tell you, Billy DeWitt III said to me, you know what I love the most about golf? And I'm like, I have no idea. And he goes, for whatever reason, whenever I get to play, I think today might be my best day ever.
It's a good attitude.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool for him to say that.
This is fun. I like that. All right, coming up next segment, we're going to go, because it's so cold outside and it's been so cold this past week, we're going to talk about getting out of town, but also in town during the summer months, but the best public courses to go play nationwide and also to do it here in St. Louis. We're coming to you from the CarShield Studios, and we're brought to you by Daugherty Business Solutions.
Hi, this is Bob Costas, and you're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Are you driving an out-of-warranty car? It's only a matter of time before your out-of-warranty vehicle is in the shop costing you thousands of dollars. Auto repair costs are up nearly 20% from last year, which is 4 times the rate of inflation. If an unexpected breakdown happened today, would you be ready for that? Well, now you can be with a plan through CarShield. Even if your car is just over 3 years old, it's still prone to expensive costs. Your car is more than just getting you from point A to point B. Traveling by car is a way of life. From picking up your kids to going to a new restaurant, cars are a daily essential. When you enroll in a car protection plan through CarShield, you can look forward to the following. The price will never go up no matter how many claims you file, or no matter how high the mileage on your car increases. CarShield offers protection plans that start as low as $100 per month. That's $100 per month. They have repair coverage for up to 5,000 different parts of your vehicle. Plus, when your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road, you get 24/7 coast-to-coast roadside assistance. You also get complimentary towing and rental car options. CarShield has my back when my car breaks down, and they can have yours too. Call CarShield today at 800-465-6550 or visit carshield.com. It's CarShield, proud sponsor of the Golf with Jay Delsing show.
Golf with Jay Delsing is presented by Family Golf and Learning Center, Jerseyville Carpet and Furniture, the Gateway section of the PGA, and Marcone. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, folks, we just opened the Jay Delsing Golf Shop. If you need anything golf related, you need a hoodie, you need a visor, you need a quarter zip. My daughter Gemma has spearheaded this effort, and I so appreciate all of her help. But we are live, and we are ready to get you into some golf gear. Folks, know this. With every single purchase, I will be donating either to the Western Golf Association in support of the Evans Scholarship Program or to Folds of Honor and the great Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney. So everything that you buy from me, we're going to make a donation to those great causes. Thanks for checking it out. It's jdelsinggolfshop.com.
Family Golf and Learning Center. No matter your age or skill level, Family Golf and Learning Center, located in Kirkwood, has something for you. They've got it all. PGA and LPGA instruction, double-decker driving range, par 3 golf course, TrackMan simulators, a large short game green design to help you with all your shots around the green, bunkers, rough, and Zoysia fairway pitching. And now open the Tahoma Bermuda Grass Tees, the best turf to hit from in St. Louis. It's all at Family Golf and Learning Center. To schedule a lesson or to find out more, visit FamilyGolfOnline.com. That's FamilyGolfOnline.com. Family Golf and Learning Center. We make St. Louis better at golf.
Darty Business Solutions has been enhancing the business of our customers for the last 37 years. How do we do it? Through our expertise in technology, better use of data and analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. We roll up our sleeves and collaborate. We build applications and effectively communicate with our partner clients to bring their goals and objectives to the finish line. Our award-winning Access Point program is a community game changer. With nearly 100 students in the program, mostly young African-American females are making between $55,000 and $60,000 per year right out of high school. That's right, $55,000 to $60,000 a year right after high school graduation. That's when they begin their training. CEO Ron Darty believes the talent is equally distributed, but access to that opportunity is not. So here's Access Point, providing more and more opportunity for those in and around our community. It's Darty Business Solutions.
This is Emma Corbett, Director of Player Development with Elv8 Golf. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
Heading down the stretch on Golf with Jay Delsing, presented by Darty Business Solutions, coming to you from the CarShield Studios. In just a bit, we're going to give you the top public courses to play nationwide, also here locally. But first, Jay, let's give away some golf balls.
Yes, we have a huge shout out and thank you to Jeff Thornhill, our buddy with the TaylorMade Golf Company. Thorny's been kind enough to give us some golf balls to give away. So, guys, send me an email, jay@jdelsinggolf.com. You got to spell J-A-Y out on both sides of that. And just put golf balls in the subject or something and just tell me you want to be entered into the drawing. And we are giving away a dozen golf balls a week. It's the TaylorMade Tour Response. It's got a line on it. It's super cool, and it's free.
And it's free. All you got to do is email Jay.
If it's free, give me 3.
Oh, or it's free,
me.
it's me.
Yeah, I like it, yeah. So thank you to Jeff Thornhill, and thank you to TaylorMade Golf. And, folks, yeah, we're getting a bunch of emails coming in. So at the end of the month, we're going to draw names. We are going to reach back out to you, get an address, and send you some golf balls.
Okay, nationwide, maybe no particular order, and it has been cold, so people are thinking about summer trips, spring trips, get out, start playing some golf. Nationwide public courses, what do you got?
Okay, so Danny, we're sticking with public, like you just said, which is super cool because people are like, oh, we got great public tracks here. Okay, so my number one course, like if you told me, dude, you get one more round and then you're out, Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach, you got to do it.
It's public, but it's pricey. Man, they ought to let you take a loan out or something.
Is it tough to get on too?
It is. It's tough to get on because the demand is so high, and so a lot of these are that way. Okay, so we're going to stick with, I got 2 in California. since they're in no order, this is kind of a snack pack. So Pebble Beach being the granddaddy of all public courses in California. These next two, you're going to know one of them, Torrey Pines South and North. You can play either one. South is a championship course. They held the U.S. Open in 2008 when Tiger won with a broken leg and all that other jazz. It's fantastic, okay? But there's a golf course. If you go up the 101 and go to Santa Barbara, it's called the Pebble Beach of the South, and it's called Sandpiper. And I got to tell you, it looks just like these two. It's right on the water. It's super cool, and no one knows it compared to these two. Now, the locals know it, cherish it, love it. But Sandpiper is another golf course. When you go out there, you're like, oh, there's some holes out there that are just really, really difficult. So those are our three California publics.
So Sandpiper, are you on the water with that one too?
Oh, yeah, right on the water in Santa Barbara. Yep, right on the water. Actually, Sandpiper and Torrey are going down as like a snack pack, so they only count as one. I don't know how I did that.
That's all right.
So all right.
It's your show.
All right, so now for a Midwestern course, we got to go up to Cog Hill, and you got to play Dubstred. Now, Cog Hill it's in Chicago. It's in the suburbs, in the west suburbs. It's an absolutely great golf facility. There's 4 courses, I think, there. Dubstred is where we used to play the Western Open. Fun golf course. The Gem 6 own that place, and they've done a great job with it. You got to go check out Cog Hill and play Dubstred. It's really, really fun. Now, we're going to go south, and we're going to go into warm weather, and there's a golf course, a public golf course in West Palm Beach called The Park. They just did a fundraise, Danny, and they raised over $100 million for this thing and put some money into it, and you got to go check it out. It's got lights. It's just
it's got
super
lights.
Cool. Yeah, it's just
that's fun.
Super, super cool. And then the last is as a tribute to the Ryder Cup and our red, white, and blue, and that's Bethpage, and you got to go pay Bethpage. And now Bethpage has 36 holes there, I believe. They've got black and I forget, is it red? I'm not sure what the other is, but Danny, you played Bethpage Black, and that is not easy to get on either, where there's a lottery and you're sitting out in your cars and there's caddies and there's all sorts of
that was the thing that
crazy
got me.
Breaking loose. Yeah, as soon as you get out there, all of a sudden caddies start appearing.
Some random guy just says, I want to carry your bag. I say, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of caddies, folks, don't forget about the Evans Scholarship Foundation. We're pushing that. I got Nick Wojciechowski. He's going to come on the show later this month and talk about that. We've got to get some kids, Danny, down using the Evans Scholarship House down at the University of Missouri.
Okay, how about locally? What do you like? Public courses?
All right, so we got some good ones. Annbriar. Kevin and Annbriar on the east side, he did a great job over here. If you haven't had a chance to play Annbriar, you got to get over there and check out Kevin and check out Annbriar. It is fun. It's demanding. You'll hit every club in your bag on this golf course.
I love it.
Yeah, you've played it. It's really, really super fun. Very challenging. Always in good shape. They do a great job. You can tell Kevin cares.
Yep.
You go over there.
100%.
He absolutely cares. Next on the list, Gateway National. It's right down. I got to tell you, one of the coolest things about Gateway National is you're looking back at the skyline of St. Louis from the east, and it is spectacular.
Yeah, seeing downtown, the buildings, the arch.
Yes,
it's really
you're
cool.
looking at it from the other side, from the Illinois side, and it looks fantastic.
I agree.
You look at it from our side and look from west going to east, you're like, I can't see much.
Right.
You see a little bitty part of the arch and the lights and everything. And so Gateway National, Sean Barnes does a phenomenal job over there, and they've got bent grass. And it is a demanding golf course. There's back tees. If you want to take on a beast, you can get on the back tees there. It's all you want. So Gateway National is number 2. Aberdeen. I just love the layout at Aberdeen. It's a fun golf course to play. It's down off of Lewis Road. It's out in the west side of town. And it's always a fun golf course to play. And it's definitely reminiscent of some Scottish linksy style. It's not exactly a link style golf course, but it's got some heather and it's got some of the characteristics of it, and so I like that a lot. The fourth guy is Stone Wolf on the east side. We'll go back on the east side and give some Stone Wolf some love. It's a Jack Nicklaus design. It's listen, there's not that many of those flying around. Okay, you get a chance to go over there. You got to check out Stone Wolf. The last one is going to be a favorite of ours for a long, long time, Danny. It's not exactly playable right now, but it will be very soon, and it's Normandy Reimagined.
And that's our tip of the cap.
And we're tipping our cap to Normandy Reimagined. We're tipping our cap to the great Jack Nicklaus. We're tipping our cap to Tom O'Toole. We're tipping our cap to the entire St. Louis golf community for supporting this. We know Todd Schnooks was the very, very first person to write a check to help further this project. So the Dean team of Volkswagen sponsors the tip of the cap, and you can reach Colin Burnt at 314-966-0303. They're tired of me calling them. I called them with Joe. We had a tree fall on Joe's car. We had all sorts of things. These guys are just fantastic. So, guys, Normandy Reimagined, we have in the North St. Louis area, we've got a Jack Nicklaus golf course being designed right now. And here's the best part. It's going to stay public. It's never going to cost you more than $50 to play. You're going to get a caddy. You're going to have, we've got Bob Clark from Clayco, who's been worldwide ambassadors in the Obama administration, doing all sorts of cool things around the world. He's helping design the clubhouse, some of the caddy houses, things like that. We've got the community involved here. You're going to be hearing a lot more from us, Danny, on Normandy Reimagined as this weather breaks. But man, Jack Nicklaus waived his design fee, $3 million. He's got his crew in there. He rode the property. He wrote it and wrote it and wrote it and finally said, you know, they did a great job with the routing here. We're just going to make a few tweaks here and there, but it's going to have brand new fairways, Danny, brand new bunkering, brand new sprinkler system, water, the whole thing, green complexes, all brand new. And Danny.
And a brand new hope for kids, too.
That's what I was going to say. Long after we're gone, Danny, we're going to have kids of all shapes, sizes, colors, creeds, whatever, getting to ride their bikes and go play over there.
Or caddy.
And caddy over there.
Yep.
And just be involved in the game and hopefully change some lives for the better. So this is a community jewel for all of us. That's the tip of the cap, brought to you by Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood, 314-966-0303. Colin Burnt is your guy. Terrific person.
So I'm listening to you go through these courses, and I'm wondering, is there a theme with the courses that you picked? Is there something that's a theme as Jay Delsing looks at these public courses nationwide and certainly here locally?
Well, first of all, the 3 California courses, you know, it's like God up above was part architect. You know, you got the Pacific Ocean on one side and you're like, oh man, I got to stay out of there. And you can't all the time. Your ball just seems to find a way. So, I think the best part, and this is kind of a dumb thing to say because we obviously said public and that means, but they're somewhat accessible. And when I say somewhat, most of them are really accessible. Pebble's a lot. It costs about $800 to play there.
Is it that much now?
That's a lot of money.
Wow.
And a lot of times you can't get on.
Yeah.
Because you need to stay at the lodge and all those things. So, but our locals, they are accessible. Normandy is going to be an amazing golf experience once we get that thing done, you know, and the endowment that we're hoping to raise this money with, Danny, is going to help offset some of the costs and be able to keep that thing so affordable. And what we really want to do, Danny, is keep this golf course in great shape in this area where all of that part of the community can use it. You know, there's not a lot of golf right there.
Is there a time frame that you're hearing when this is going to be done? There's still fundraising, obviously.
Right. I heard, and we're going to get more and more involved in that as time comes. There's a strategy behind this, and so we're kind of waiting. I heard that somewhere towards the end of 2025, I think you can play some golf over there. So a lot's going to depend on the weather and the grow in and things like that. But they're moving dirt and things like that. I know by 2026 we'll be hitting shots over there, and we will be playing there for sure.
This has been a great show. We had Derek Sprague on, the CEO of the PGA of America. Also, our guest, Emma Corbett from Elv8 Golf. And Jay, we've got next week kind of a spotlight on Whitmore. We're going to visit with one of the top pros over there.
Yeah, we got Brian Maines coming on. Brian is a great guy. He's done some phenomenal work with PGA Hope. Danny had been instrumental in John DePriest receiving a national award and national recognition from our section. And we're just going to keep on going. We got a lot of local rock stars here that we're going to just keep on. We got to keep popping them.
I love it. And shining a spotlight on these guys and gals is so important because the golf here is really good. You just got to know where to go and who to talk to.
Absolutely. And you think about when we had Mike Leach in the studio just last week, and, the superintendents need some love too, man. We're going to do it. We're going to take care of it. We're going to try to take care of everybody. We've had a lot of national guests. We will continue to have some of those, but we want to sprinkle in some of our local, that rock star sitting right next to you, that local celebrity that you don't even know how hard he or she works to keep the golf course going well, keep the tournament running, keep the golf balls clean, all that stuff. Someone has to be doing that.
Great show. Great job, Jay. And how do we end it?
Hit him straight, St. Louis. Do you realize that the Gateway section and the over 350 men and women are here to serve you in any way they can? Whether it's running your member guest, getting the driving range prep for your next practice session, or maybe just you and your girl getting in a quick 9 and then dinner after work. The Gateway PGA professionals are here for you. I bet you didn't realize the Gateway section, one of the 41 sections around this great country, has been rated in the top 3 in many of the most important categories. Your Gateway, or Great Way section, as it's affectionately known, is here for you to help you any way possible. The Gateway section of PGA Golf Professional, here to assist you with all of your golfing needs. You can visit them at gatewaypga.org and make sure you look for some of these other cool programs. PGA Reach, the PGA Junior League, or the award-winning PGA Hope program that helps our veterans. That's the Gateway PGA of America, here for you.